everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. I wanted to post a quick video on this relatively new program, new AI program called Replit Agent. Essentially, what it allows you to do is build a software program or an app with using absolutely no code. Just prompts is all that you need. Now, I do want to say that while they do have a free version and a paid version, the free version does not allow you to use simply prompts in order to build out your software, your app. You actually have to use code. So just be mindful of that. So I went to the paid version. With the app I wanted to build was just simply an app on stocks. I wanted to be able to select up to 5 stocks. I wanted to see the current price, the closing price, information on the dividends, the ex-dividend date. I wanted interactive charts. And where I began was just building out a prompt on Word. Okay. Now, my experience is I've had a few shots at this. I've been kind of playing around with this for the last 3 or 4 days. And my experience was if you get too complex with your initial prompt, it can cause you some problems, and then you're trying to make changes. So, while you want to provide, a really thorough overview, try not to go into too much detail on your initial prompt, because I found the most effective way of using this, once you get the initial outline sort of developed, is just take it a section at a time and provide AI with as much detail as possible. So I wanted to create an app for me called Your Stocks, that you could view stocks at the New York Stock Exchange. I asked us to use Yahoo Finance. I wanted the user to be able to enter as few as one or as many as 5 different stock symbols. I also asked it not to create a user sign-in page. I initially tried to do that on my first couple of times. Maybe it was something I was doing, but it caused some issues, and then Replit AI was not able to correct that. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned, this is really new, so they're still working on it, and I'm sure before long, they will really have this product working really, really well. I've seen quite a few videos on it, and that's sort of been everybody's experience. You just can't be uh, too ambitious in terms of what you're asking it to create. But I'm very happy with it. I was very impressed what it ended up doing. So I just gave it some simple prompts. Now, as I mentioned, I didn't use any code at all, but I did use an API key for the news API. The reason for that is I wanted to have links below each stock, news links. So as somebody's looking at a stock, if there's up-to-date news on that stock, you can just click on it. It'll take you to a new page and provide you with the latest information on that stock. And I also wanted to create a watch list so that, if somebody had some favorite stocks that they wanted to keep an eye on, they could sort of create a watch list, save it, and then look at that watch list a little bit later on. And then finally, I wanted the user to have the option, if they wanted to, with their watch list, is to download it to an Excel file. So we did that. So what I did to get started, after I got my initial prompt set up that you see here, I just copied it, and then right in the center of the screen here, where it says describe what you wanted to make, I just pasted it, and I clicked start building. Now, the way the screen is set up on Replit, the center area in the middle here will show you all the coding, and then the program. It gives you various views. Your files and everything will be down the left-hand side. And then the right side of the screen is where you're going to be doing most of your work. This is where you're going to be entering in your prompts and asking Replit to make whatever changes or saves that you want to make. So I'll just go over here to my Replits, and I'll select this stock application that I created. Like run, wait for it to show up. Go to my web view. Now, the news links that I added, because I didn't want to pay for them, I got the free version. So unfortunately here, I'm not going to be able to show you the actual news links because I've used up my time for the 24-hour cycle. But I'll just ask you to take my word for it. The news links are there, and they work really, really well. Okay, so we've got on the left-hand side, got the main page that you're looking at now. I've got watch lists I can create, and I can view ones that I've created. This is the right side of the screen that I was mentioning. This is where, all your prompts will go in. You just go down here, type in a message, and give Replit instructions. Now, I have found, and I don't know if this is anybody else's experience, sometimes Replit will just kind of go rogue and start running things and creating things. So I found I really had to rein it in. So I found what worked best for me is I would type in instructions for a prompt, and then I would tell it each time, do not perform any other tests or any other changes to my app until you've completed this, and I give you those instructions. I found that, for me anyways, to work the best. And I was able to finally get this completed. So let's just take a quick look at this inside the Replit environment. I'm just going to maximize this. Now, I have the option here if I want. I can close the left pane so I can see the entire program. And right up at the top here is where the user would enter in whatever stocks they wanted to view. So if I wanted to see AT&T, BCAT, for example, gold, that's another one. What else we want? PMT. Now let's try EQX. Now just hit enter. Okay, so essentially for each one of these stocks now, I get the information that I asked for. I've got the current price of the stock, the last closing price, the average trading volume, which is important. I can see the daily range of the price, the low and the high, as well as the 52-week range as well. Dividend information I felt was important. I wanted to know what the dividend yield was if the particular stock pays dividends, what the ex-dividend date is for anybody that does trade stocks. You would know that if you wanted to, for example, qualify to receive the next dividend, you've got to purchase the shares of that stock before that ex-dividend date. And I also wanted to know how much per share the dividends were paying. I also wanted to know what the earnings dates were, what the previous one was, when the next earnings dates are, because if you are trading, whether you're doing day trading or swing trading, you need to know that information, because if you happen to be entering into you're purchasing a stock at, and you didn't know it, and the next day was their earnings statements and it didn't do so well, you know what's going to happen. All right, and then now I was really impressed with the quality of the charts that I got, these candle charts, and it did an excellent job. I wanted the user to have the option of filtering on all sorts of various time frames for the chart. So by default, it shows 5 years. I can go here, and now you can select any time frame that you want for that chart. 5 year, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, whatever you like. So I just want to see the last 6 months. I can click on that. And now I can see the results for the last 6 months, or maybe the last year, whatever time frame you're interested in. And you also have the option right here is you can go to full screen mode so you can get a much closer look at your charts. And when you hover your mouse over any of these candles, it will show you and display the actual day. It'll show you the opening price, the closing price, and the high and the low for each and every day. So you can really get some detailed information about your entry points. Okay. Also, I wanted to have some basic financial ratios. I wanted to know what the current ratio was, the earnings per share, the price earnings ratio, the debt to equity ratio. As I mentioned a little earlier, if I'd not used up all my time on my news feeds, right under this menu item here that says recent news, you would see a lot of links there that would apply to that particular stock. You could just click on that link and it takes you straight to that page. Okay, and these are just same information, just with different stocks here. Now, you can create a watch list, as I mentioned. So I'll just click here and go back to my menu, and I can select View Watch List. So I've got a couple ones here. One says Dividend Stocks. I create another one called Test. I want to see Test. Now you can see all the information on those stocks that I requested. And as I mentioned, I wanted the user to have the option of exporting this out to an Excel sheet. So you can click on that. I've already got one open, I believe. Yep, and it will provide you with a spreadsheet. Format that a little bit. If you want to keep track of things, it's wider. Okay, and this will give you a nice little snapshot of your watch list. You can also add to this if you want. You can add more columns, obviously, if you want to keep track of your trades when you're buying and selling. All right, so then once I had everything the way that I was happy with and everything was set up, you can go, this is a full stack program. So you can go right from building the program without using any codes whatsoever to full deployment. Okay, and once you deploy the app, you'll notice I've got this tab here that says deployments. It's already finished. It gives you a URL so you can access it. And I've already opened that. So here's the website of the app that I just built, and all the information is here. The chart information, as I mentioned, the news links would be there, but I use them up. And also this works really, really well. I tried it out on my iPhone. It rendered perfectly. So if you're interested in, tooling around and experimenting a little bit, this is really, I'm really impressed with this program. It's called Replit Agent. As I mentioned, they're still in the beginning stages, but I'm really quite happy with what it's able to do. And I'm going to be moving on to my next project, and I'll keep you up to date on how that goes. So I hope you enjoyed that, and everybody's doing well. And until we see you next time, take care.